Okay, so let's start with the date, 420, which was our original date. All indications led to us believing that the warning would happen or take place on April the 20th of 2021. After that date came and went, Scott from Mary's Battle Beads realized that it was actually the day that Mary flew into the desert. On that day, and he did a screenshot here I'm circling around, it was a screenshot taken on April 21st, a day after. In the Mariana Islands, there was some very Marian numbers of some earthquakes, specifically that week, of a 5.3 magnitude earthquake in the Mariana Islands. And so let's look at Revelation 12, verse 14. And there was given to the woman 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the desert unto her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. So a couple of things I want to point out is the 2 wings, of course, we learned from Mr. Tapley of Third Eagle Books. These 2 wings symbolize Mary's Rosary and Mary's Holy Scapular. Now we're going to take a look at this expression of time as time and times and half a time, and also I want to consider what she's being nourished from, the face of the serpent. That's very important as well. So I did put a new slide together, which is the next slide, about the Mariana Islands. Of course, this is a map here, and you can see these tiny little islands here, and they are really in the middle of just surrounded by water. Deserts are not just sandy deserts. They can also be wet deserts, but deserts are usually far away from civilization and other people. So you can definitely tell that the Mariana Islands, and very important name there, by the way, Mariana Islands. So a couple of things that I found about the Mariana Islands I wanted to point out to you guys is, first of all, it's comprised of summits of 15 mostly dormant volcanic mountains in the western North Pacific Ocean between the 12th and 21st parallels north and along the 145th meridian east. So I have these highlighted, so I want to take a look at the sacred numerology. So of course these are crescent shaped, and the summits of these volcanic mountains, there's 15 of them that comprise the Mariana Islands. Of course, we know that 15 can be expressed as 5 plus 5 plus 5, which is equal to 555, which is Mary's Rosary. The next numbers are 12th and 21st. And I think it's important there's an and in between these 2 numbers, 12th and 21st. Plus, they are a mirror of each other, which is, I think, really significant as well. So of course the 12 can be expressed as 6 plus 6, or 444, because 4 times 3. But 66 is of course the serpent. And then on the other side is 21, which is 7 plus 7 plus 7, 777. Of course, Jesus' stamp of approval here. 145th meridian. This made me think of the Amtrak train that Mr. Tapley always shows, the 145th, or it was number 145, which he says is very often is symbolizing Isaiah 45, King Cyrus. So I definitely wanted you guys to see exactly where the Mariana Islands are. They are out in the middle of nowhere, so it makes a lot of sense that she was flown into the desert. Okay, so the next date was 5/6. Of course, we again thought that the warning would happen on 5/6. After 5/6 came and went, I was thinking, well, just like 420, what happened? I want to show you, I finally realized that 5/6 is what I call the stare down between the woman and the serpent. You can see 5/6, 5 versus 6, or May the 6th. So why do I think it's the stare down? Well, remember, I sent this email to Paula, and you can see my subject line. I wasn't too sure about this thought, but I said, I may be way off, but the thought occurred to me. And the thought was strong enough that I thought, you know what, let me send this out to Paula and see what she thinks. And so I sent it the day after May 6th, on May the 7th. And here's what I wrote to her. I said, maybe 5/6/7, 2021 was the stare down, similar to the way boxers a day before the match do a stare down. It's very customary for boxers to do a stare down before a boxing match, especially one day before the match. And so a couple of hours passed, and actually I think I'd gone to bed, and I woke up in the morning and I checked my Twitter account, and I have a friend named Pamela who had sent me a Twitter message 3 hours after I sent this email to Paula. And if you haven't seen this, it's quite amazing what she sent me, because it connects, and it gave me confirmation that what I was thinking, that 5/6/7 was the stare down between the woman and the serpent, this gives really good confirmation. So take a look at the message. Again, it's important for you to understand that I sent this on around 7:30 on Friday, and 3 hours later, which was yesterday. This is how Twitter shows their timestamps. Yesterday was in fact May the 7th at 10:30. So about 3 hours later, my friend Pamela sent me this, and she says, I thought this was cute. Hail Mary, full of grace, punch the devil in the face. Okay, so it confirmed to me that 5/6 was the what I call the great stare down between the woman and the serpent. And so you can also see, Paula pointed out, she's holding a rosary very lightly here, but you know, this is great. I love this. So again, it gave me confirmation about what I was thinking. Now, the next date that we thought again was going to be the warning was 5/13, which is the first day that Our Lady appeared to the 3 shepherd children in Fatima on May the 13th. And she, again, as you know, she visited them every month for 6 months. And actually, I don't know if you know, but from May the 13th to the last day, October the 13th, is exactly 153 days. But what I'm saying now is, a week later, after the stare down, the serpent gave the first 1-2 punch. And so Satan throws the first punch. The propaganda is being set up for the mark. First, Biden unmasks, COVID numbers increase, a cry for vax passports begins, ultimately leading to the mark of the beast. And so we see it says Biden unmasks. That Biden unmasks, him unmasking here, in fact, in the Rose Garden, which is very important because of the Rosary. They did this in the Rose Garden of the White House. But Biden unmasking, that event prefigures the AC unmasking on June the 17th, 2021. Remember this date? I have a video, 2 videos actually, revealing this as the day that God will appoint the Antichrist. But look at the words in this article. This was from Politico, I believe. Biden unmasks, marks. What does the word marks mean? Well, that's a nod to the mark of the beast. And then the other word, Paula pointed this out to me, and it says milestone, a political milestone. Well, doesn't that word milestone look a lot like millstone? Okay, think about these individuals here. Luke 17, chapter 17, verse 2 says, "It were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and he cast into the sea, than that he should scandalize one of these little ones." And of course, here God will have the last laugh. So 513, May the 13th was the first 1-2 punch. Okay, this is all leading us to the mark of the beast. So let's take a closer look at Revelation 12:14, which I showed on the very first slide. Again, it says, "And there were given to the woman 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the desert unto her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent." Okay, so this is kind of in 2 sections here. This middle part goes together. Okay, I'm circling around the middle part that goes together, and this shows the period that she, who is Mary, is nourished from the face of the serpent. Again, she entered the desert on April the 20th, 2021. Now, how do we get this 3.5 months? Well, that's from Revelation 14, right here. Time and times and half a time. Well, time is 1, and times is 2, and half a time is 0.5. If you add 1 plus 2 plus 0.5, it equals 3.5 months. And if you watch Scott's presentation on this, he said it can't be years because we're already in the Great Tribulation. That would be too much time, so it has to be months. So when you take the day that Mary entered the desert, which was 4/20/2021, and you add 3.5 months to it, you get to the exact date of August the 4th, 2021. And by the way, if you don't know, August the 4th, 2021 happens to be Barack Obama's birthday. Now, so let's now take a look at, now the warning is 1 day before the appointment of the Antichrist on 6/17. I want you to think about like a doctor. When you have a doctor's appointment, usually they'll call you the day before to confirm your appointment, or to sort of give you a warning, like, hey, hopefully you didn't forget that you have an appointment tomorrow. We're just calling to check and confirm. We do believe that the warning will take place the day before the appointment of the AC. So that would be 6/16/2021. Now take a look at this. Remember, we got 1, 2, and 0.5 from Revelations 12:14, time and times and half a time. If we add from this warning date, 6/16, and we add 1 month, 2 weeks, and 5 days, we get to the very same date of August the 4th, 2021. And so you can notice I highlighted these to make it very clear that these are the same digits that we got from the time, times, and half a time. So we have the 1, the 2, and you can drop the decimal point. We still share the same digit here. So both of these times, the entire period where Mary's nourished from the face of the serpent is 3.5 months. From 4/20 leads us to August 4th. And then our grace period after the warning, per the message from Jesus to the prophet John Leary, is also leads us to the date August the 4th, 2021. So we take a couple. I did show this one last night. So if you start at 4:20 and you go to 8:4, so from when Mary flies into the desert and the grace period after the warning ends, it's a total of 106 days. If you drop that 0, we have, and really this kind of shows there's nothing in between, no commonality between the God the Father and the serpent. There's nothing, it sort of shows that sort of enmity, I guess. But what's also very interesting here is, and really fascinating, is this time between Mary flies into the desert and the grace period after the warning ends is a total of 3 months and 15 days. Okay, so 3:15. What Bible verse does that make you think of? Genesis 3:15, where God puts enmity between the woman and the serpent. I don't think it's a coincidence. This is a message from John Leary that he received on February the 5th, 2021. I just show this to show, I'm not going to read it all, but it says, this is from Jesus, February 5th, 2021. This is why after the warning and the 6 weeks of conversion, I told you to put your TVs, computers, and cell phones out of your house, etc. You can go back and pause, and if you want to read this message, I'm not going to read it all, but I just wanted to show you that from Jesus, he said 6 weeks. Now, I do want to talk about those 6 weeks because I don't think these are normal 6 weeks. So if you remember back leading up to May the 6th, God the Holy Spirit had put onto my mind the album or the single by the Beatles called 8 Days a Week. And if you watch the Flaming Spear dream that Dana Coverstone had dreamed over these dates, April 11th through the 19th, Dana states that it's a little bit longer because I had it Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night. Every single night I had a part of this dream, and that's never happened, and this is very unusual for me. I think this is very important. This gave me confirmation that God the Holy Spirit had put this 8 days a week Beatles song on my mind. Interesting enough too is if you add these digits that are above the Capitol Records logo, they add up to 16, which makes me think of June the 16th, the warning. And again, what's interesting too is, I don't want to spoil the party as the B-side. It kind of makes me think of the serpent, not wanting to spoil all the debauchery that he's endorsed, throughout the fall of mankind. So again, he had this dream 8 nights a week or 8 days a week. So let's go back to that 6 weeks that Jesus said to John Leary in the message of the grace period of conversion, converting our friends and family. The 6 weeks of grace period, I believe, is 8 days a week. If you take 6 weeks and you times it by 8 days, you get a total of 48 days. Now 48 in sacred numerology, you can add those digits, you get 12, which is 444. You can also multiply 4 times 8, which gives you 32. And of course, we learned from Mr. Tapley's very first video on YouTube over 12 years ago that 32 represents placing God, which is 3, before mankind, which is represented by the number 2 because of man plus woman. 1 plus 1 is 2. So if we start at the date June the 17th, which is the day that the Antichrist is appointed by God himself, and we add 48 days to that day, so this would be our grace period, it leads us to Wednesday, August the 4th, 8/4/2021. And I did put a note here again that 8/4 happens to be Barack Obama's birthday. Now, this is a new slide here. It was found, I believe, by Rosary and Scapular 555, and 84 here, if you turn the Jacinta image to its side 90 degrees, you see this number 8 and a sort of a dash it kind of leads into, and then a 4 right here. 48 days to 8/4, August the 4th. Okay, 48. So you see, I mirrored it. 48 days to August the 4th. So again, from 6/16 to 8/4, and it could be 6/17. Sometimes if you add a date or you include the end date, but you still get 48 days. So the grace period is 48 days, and the grace period ends on 8/4. So we see it right here in the Jacinta 1972 image. Now, remember Scott? He had said on his broadcast, after 5:13, he's like, I kind of give up trying to solve the puzzle. Well, it's interesting enough that as soon as he said he was going to give up, he solved it, and about 5 minutes after he had called myself, and about 5 minutes after getting off the phone with Scott, after he had told us that he had solved the puzzle and told us the date, what the warning was going to be on June the 16th, a day before the Antichrist is appointed, I found this image that you're looking at. Now, previously, I've searched the Ascenta 1972 date possibilities very extensively. So there's been many people who have, it's been a puzzle. So a lot of people have been looking for numbers, words, letters, clues to try to solve the puzzle. I had actually never seen this date suggested before. And again, it was about 5 minutes after I had got off the phone with Scott, and I went right to my computer and I started searching. I was like, well, I got to see this Jacinta and see if I can find June the 16th in it. I was led right to this image. Now, of course, this person who put this together, I did not put this one together. They found June 16, okay, and they suggested through the 18th of the year 2017. Of course, that has come and gone. We believe that the warning now is going to be on June the 16th, 2021. And here's how I believe it's solved. Our Lady had said to add the 9 plus the 7. If we add 9 and 7, again, I put it in blue and red. Of course, blue and red, if you mix those together, makes purple. You get the number 16, because 9 plus 7 equals 16. Then, of course, you see the J, the U, the N, and the E to make the word June. And then the only numbers that are very clear that are left over are the 2 and the 1. And, of course, that is for the day or the year 2021. So June the 16th, 2021 is the day of the warning. So that concludes my program. I'm getting, I forgot my light. I always do that. I'm getting kind of close to where Mary's Battle Beads gets on to do the Litany of Praise, which again is found in Daniel chapter 3, verse 52 through 90. So I don't want to hold anyone up to go over to that. Thank you so much for joining. It looks like we had a pretty good connection throughout. Hopefully you enjoyed and liked the new slides. So anyways, thank you all again for joining. May God bless you all. May God bless these United States of America, and Our Lady of the Tear of Joy pray for us. Good night and God bless.